All right, it looks like we are live. And so, welcome. That's right. Welcome to Minnassa Wellness, my show, Can We Talk? And my special guest is Shenita Sanders. All right, there we go. Oh, let me mute the sound. All right, so just waiting for the notification. We've got people already watching. I want to welcome you. I'm glad to be here. Um, and happy Saturday and happy December. I mean, wow. So I always forget to say this. So let me say it right now. Please hit the thumbs up button. And yes, right, thumbs up. If you don't subscribe to my channel already, what is going on with you? No. Please subscribe and then hit the notification for all of you who watch afterwards. I really want to thank you. I'm gonna have to find some way to, I thank you at the beginning of the show and then I go and see the numbers afterwards. So thank you. Thank you for taking time. Let me know. I'll say this, I do this show. The way I initially chose the time for this show is that as part of Tarot Love Community, they weren't wanting shows to overlap. And so between, I think, 10 and 1, at the time that I started my show, there was no one on. So I chose 11 a.m. But if that time doesn't work, or maybe I need to switch that on the first Saturday, I do it at 11 a.m. and on the third Saturday, I do it at a different time, then let me know. I am open to that. I will say early does work for me. I am an early bird. And like, as soon as I'm done with this show, I am out the door. headed into Memphis proper to get my nails done. And so 11 works perfect for me, but maybe if we need to have an evening show, just let me know. I want to hear all those things. And so let me begin, of course, by welcoming the awesome moderator, Sharon Sipes, so faithful, not just to me, which I appreciate, but she serves so many other channels. Sharon, thank you so much for keeping the bugaboos and the trolls out of our chat and for greeting everyone. I really appreciate that. Thank you, Sharon, so much. And then Sweet Jane the Seeker is here, who has a show every day. It's 8 a.m. Central Time. And sometimes she has my boyfriend, Gerald, on there. I think he comes on Tuesdays. But it is so good to have these ladies here and the rest of you here. I am excited. My last 4 or 5 shows have had super amazing women, talented women, uh, powerful women, healing women. And so why would I not end with this great woman we have here? So I began a series on healing. So I had Adrienne from Red Lentil Healing. I had then Sonia Rain Lean from her show, and then Tony from Shining Hawk Healing, all doing healing aspects. And, we had great conversations about healing internally, healing the world, being instruments of healing, using Reiki and energetic healing, and then Tony just blew us using her drum. And so Adrienne used her gongs for healing, and Sonia led us on a guided meditation. And then last week we had Gertrude, who she alluded to it, but she reached out to me in email and said, like, literally, she had a vision of us interacting. So I was like, is this some weird lady? But I didn't have any weird vibe. I thought, okay, she had a vision of us interacting. We're obviously on a different plane. So good. So I had her on the show and then found out that she had been a nun. So as a woman in ministry, having still an ordained minister, I was like, what in the heck? And then she channels this powerful energy, Raha Shah, and that entity came to the show. So very amazing. So all of that to say is that I had this great idea to invite these awesome women, and then Spirit was like, look, yeah, you didn't even know, girl. I was getting ready to blow your mind. So excited to have Shenita Sanders from Future Focused Coaching Wellness. And I've been racking my brain, Shenita, on how we met, because even Audrey, awesome Audrey, I was talking about, what I do. And she says, oh, no, I'm going to introduce you to Shenita. And I said, I already know her. But then I thought, I take it was Instagram is how we met, or did I post something Memphis related that would have caught your attention? Do you remember?
I do actually.
Okay, good. Help an old lady out.
So I was racking my brain as well, Manasa. So I'm going to just say the beauty of algorithms.
Hmm.
So somehow your channel came through in my feed, and I said, "Oh, she has a pretty smile. Let me see what she's about." And then at the time,
Yay.
I think maybe in the title or something there was tarot,
Hmm.
and I
That's right. It
said,
used to be Tarot
"Oh,
Living with Minnassa.
yes, that's exactly it." And so I clicked on it, and I said, "This is very interesting." And so from there, I remember saying, "One day, I want to reach out and talk to her." Fast forward several months, I opened an Instagram account.
Okay.
Somehow you liked a post of mine, and then we just inboxed each other from there.
And here we go. And so,
Mm-hmm.
yes. So, I did a rebranding. So, Manasa Wellness is I really came back to the mindfulness work that brought me here. And so I've had a podcast, which I'm going to restart. And I had to really think, am I going to stay on brand with Manasa Wellness? Because, my podcast was all about tarot and oracle. And I thought, I'm going to keep it about tarot and oracle because that is an important aspect. And I use that every day in my own personal life.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm going to do that. But I'm glad that's how it caught you. So now, before I get all excited, tell me. So, yes, part of what threw me off on the podcast is, I had surgery,
Mm-hmm.
so, and it's very funny. I was reflecting today how that really affected me, even though I didn't think that it did in this way, in that I had a surgery when I was 4 to have my tonsils out. Okay, so that was in 1967. In 2011, I'll call it a surgery, but it was really they put some pins in my toe. Okay, so you can see that long span. And then in 2020, I'm not somebody that's in the hospital and doing that. So even though I've worked in hospitals, it was just a very strange thing for me. I could see just mess and piles all around. So I thought, okay, this really affected me. But my uh, doing my work here on YouTube, I love doing that. But I am bringing the podcast back, and it will stay Oracle and tarot related. So now I'm thinking, what deck am I going to talk about, and what are we going to do? And I have my sweet friends Audrey and Kara, who talk to me in their very sweet ways. Kara is a Taurus, so she's the lovey-dovey earth sign. And so she'll say in a sweet way about bringing it back. And Audrey will say, I am really enjoying your podcast. All right. I think, okay, I hear you, sweet lady.
Well, Audrey is very instrumental in activating that interest and desire for me to do
Hmm.
to learn tarot and oracle. So I am grateful to her for that. Now I don't read for people per se, but
Yet.
it's just something that gives me extra added insight into my own life.
No, it's very true. Just like the other day, Jane had um, I have been meditating, and the challenge for me is to let go of attachments. I'm like, I put on a great show every other weekend. I do a great show on the, you know, uh, during the week. I am sincere, all these things, and I have this attachment. So that means when I put out, I'm having a meditation, I have to beat people away, right? But it doesn't happen that way. So then I get all in my head like, this shit's not working. And, I should just work at the hospital and head down. No, Jane, those are gongs. She's going to give us some healing music at the end. So then, I was just like, because this is the honest God truth. If I wanted to make real quick, fast money, I'd go
Mhm.
back to tarot. I'd do love readings. I'd give people love spells. I'd sell potions, and I would probably make $10,000 in a month. But that's not who I am, and that's not how my energy works. And I have to stay true to that, to who I am. So that day after doing my meditation, I went, and there was beautiful Kuan Yin just telling me, stay on task, you're doing the right thing, but I had wanted to go to my Ganesha cards because what I really want, like comfort. But I thought, no, go on over here to Mother Kuan Yin. So she gave me a beautiful, comforting message. And then Jane had Ganesha cards on. I was like, yes, Ganesha. So those cards are a very big part of my life and part of my mindfulness. Connecting, being still, taking that time to realize that there is something bigger than myself that is within myself and to check on that wisdom. So I'm seeing Audrey tomorrow. We're having the Sage table at Out Memphis, the Senior Services Committee.
Well, please give her a big hug for
I
me. Tell her I said
will.
hello and I love and miss her and Patty.
I will. I will. All right. So let's get started. Shenita, please introduce yourself.
Let's see. Let's condense 50 years in a few moments.
You can have 5 minutes or 50 years.
I guess the way I would describe myself is just this ever changing, loving, compassionate being. I have had to work incredibly hard to be in this space that I'm in right now, to be able to say that with confidence and joy, because I certainly didn't start life out that way. However, as my older brother Mario always taught me, he goes, I never have to take the L if I learn the lesson. And it just means that as long as I'm learning the lesson that's within the not so easy moments or the easy moments, nothing's ever a mistake, nothing is ever bad. And so now I teach my clients these are just opportunities. They are gifts that show you where healing needs to take place. And so not only is that a powerful reframe, it really does help to loosen and let out or release a lot of the hurtful negative feelings that come with these events or these situations. And so I was fortunate enough to get that lesson in my late 20s. And because of that, I've just had so many years to cultivate the wisdom of that. And, just because of him sharing that, this is something I get to share with many people over the course of my life as a mental health and substance use therapist, and also now as a positive psychology coach. So I just love learning. I'm an eternal student and I soak up knowledge. Everyone that I encounter is my teacher, and I learn something from them. And I hope that in my encounter, I also give something to them. And so I just, nothing really tested that philosophy, Minnassa, more than the last, let's say, 6 years, because you really had to dig deep and figure out is what I've been saying or is what I've been doing to say who I am and the type of person I want to be, is it true? Because words say who you want to be, actions say who you are. And so I've really gotten to be reintroduced to myself and rediscover some things. And I'm just very happy with the woman that is speaking to you today.
Very good. So tell us. So Sharon is asking me a question. Sharon, my moderator extraordinaire, do you have a YouTube channel?
Okay, Sharon, great question. I have a YouTube channel, and I see Minnassa smiling because we've had this conversation already. So it's going to, um, I'm going to actually start using it in 2023. The biggest holdup for me is I'm an empath, and it's hard for me to talk to a screen because most empaths don't like chit chat.
That's true. That's
And
true.
so I said, this is my opportunity for growth, and for me to step out there. My friends and some family members tell me you have a lot to give and you need to share it. So maybe if I have people like Sharon or Minnassa or Audrey or whoever to talk with me, I can, vibe more. But I have a hard time vibing with sterile equipment.
Well, that's true. And Sharon, because Sharon, what she does is she puts your YouTube channel in the chat so people can follow you. And so I tried to put it in the show notes. So okay, in 2023, when your channel comes up, I'm going to come back to this show and I'm going to put that in there.
Well, it's up and live. It's Future Focus Coaching and Wellness.
All right.
And I think that now YouTube has handles, and my handle is Soul Healers.
All right. So Sharon, did you hear all that? See if you can find it under Soul Healer. As I'm writing this down, and it's also Future Focus Coaching Wellness. So tell us about your business. You said that you're a positive psychologist. So tell us more about Future Focus Coaching Wellness.
So I was 25 years in the game of being a counselor, and I loved it. My journey started in inpatient adult psychiatry, lockdown units, lockdown units, lockdown units. And let me tell you, you really get to know personalities and people. And as my wife will tell you, Shenita has a way of speaking to people um, that helps to put people at ease. And so I would just see people that are not at their best. And as we coin the term in counseling, they're out of contact with reality. So
Mm,
having to meet that person where they are and to extend compassion, but attend to the what they're dealing with emotionally, it takes a lot of artistry. And I'm grateful for that experience because it gave me these incredible skills. So fast forward, I also worked in a school for youth at risk. And I remember hearing, these kids are terrible, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, nope, they're just misunderstood. And so when I actually encountered what people called horrible, just cast them to the side, it's
mm.
like, no, it's energy. Now, you respect them, they will give you respect. But more than anything, they're looking for consistency in their life
Mm.
because people have come to them and said, I can do this, and it hasn't panned out. And so I've been fortunate to work with a full gamut. I think my youngest client was 5 years old, my oldest was 90. And so
Wow.
I've been fortunate to work with the spectrum of human beings at different age and life phases. And so I said, during the pandemic, I knew that there was more for me
Mm.
that, comes with you're put in a nice little neat box. And I said, my gifts are so much more than that. And so I said, is it time yet? So my wife and I, we talked about it. And this story kind of tears me up sometimes when I think about it. So she was incredibly encouraging. And she said, yes, it's time for this. Everything going on in the outside world, it's time for these gifts to be released now. So what we came up with was I had a nice, beautiful, pretty new car um, because our other car got hit by a deer. So we had to go get a car. So I wasn't excited about that.
It's
Um,
so weird that you say that because if you don't live in areas where deers are about, that sounds almost like an insane statement. So you got hit by a deer. Is that the name of the car? Well, no. I know a lady I work with. Her car actually Gail too. I mean, two women in the last 3 months, cars got totaled by a deer.
mhm. So we got a new car. And then I said, I woke up one day and I said, I want to sell my car. I just want to sell my car. We don't need two cars. We're both working from home now as a result of everything that was going on then. And I said, now I have my seed money. And so I took what little I had, just a few dollars, and I did what I could with what I have. And so today, now I can, this year, for the first time, I was able to afford space that I'm in right now. And it's just amazing how God and the universe and the love that surrounds us makes a way when you put your efforts forward.
So now, what do you do with your business? You said you have clients. So what is it that you do?
So I do the coaching, and then let's see, the end of 2021, I introduced sound therapy to my practice. The biggest takeaway I had was when I was still working as a counselor, I had a sound therapy session because my stress level was up to here. My stress was so heavy on me, it was difficult to walk almost because
Mm.
I was hearing trauma, 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 trauma.
And as an empath, that's a whole different.
It is, and I'm a highly sensitive person. So I was walking down the street and I saw this sign in the window and it said sound therapy. I'd never heard of that. And I said, I'm so stressed, I'll try it because I love music. And so I booked a session and Minnassa, there was such a profound release that I was crying. when I left that session. So 45 minutes had this transformative
Mm.
effect. And it was so powerful and so beautiful. I said, we are connected forever, and I will be doing this because I didn't have to say anything to anybody. I didn't have to recall any memories to help get rid of. It
Mm.
took the
Mm.
sounds took me as I was in that moment and said, just
Mm.
rest. I got you. And I could feel from the strike of the first gong, I remember it. It tingled my crown chakra and it went completely through each part of my chakras, out through the toes. I remember feeling this so explicitly. And after that feeling, 45 minutes went by and I was not present. I was I was like in a cocoon of deep healing. And
Mm.
so I remember going, my clients could use this when I was a counselor. They could use this because many of them were saying, I don't want to talk. I don't want to think about it anymore. Just fix it. Please just fix it. I'm tired of dealing and living with this. And so I told my wife, I said, I know it's going to be incredibly expensive, but I got to find a way to make this happen. And she was just incredibly encouraging and said, a way will be made. And so fortunately, she was correct and slowly have been able to do vibrational medicine here where I place Tibetan bowls along the body to
Mm.
help move energy out and to have even more of a profound release. And
Mm.
so I do the community sound healings here where just people come from all over the upstate here in South Carolina to enjoy as a community. So not only do you get the benefit of the instruments, but the collective healing of
Mm.
everyone present. And that has an incredible effect. And if someone wants a more private situation where it's just them, and then we can talk and release specific things, then that's a powerful component.
Wow. So I want to say hi to Sharon. Um, Sharon Strawberry Taro, Strawberry Rhubarb, yum, who's got some Canadian up in the house right now. But wow, wow, wow. Even Jane's like, I love that. So one of the things I wrote down the word pandemic. So many the pandemic opened doors for people. It had, I this is my opinion. I've said it on here before. If we had done for in 6 months what the pandemic wanted us to do, if we had all gone inside and looked at ourselves, done the healing, we would have been in a whole different place. But just like you said, a lot of people don't want to go inside. They don't want to do the healing because there's hurt there. There's fear there, and so they're like, no, it's America. You're not gonna make more America. Okay, whatever. But I think the pandemic was a real opportunity we could have transformed this nation. And in some ways it did. I talked about how about everybody being inside, even the world, that the dolphins were coming back to places and the air pollution was going down. And so again, but the pandemic, what could have been viewed as a bad thing. Now I am in no way making light of the people who died from COVID. I work in a hospital and I was on the ICU unit. I know how that was. They had to open extra space in the hospital to make room for this. And I've seen people crying at the bedsides because of this. So I'm in no way making light of that people died. But I'm also saying that the pandemic and being forced to go inside, the very thing that most people don't do, when forced to go inside was really the invitation to turn within. We don't turn within. We want to, have the iPad and the phone and Kindle. You see, I got it all sitting around me, right? We want to do all that stuff that takes our attention out. But yet you saw this opportunity in this quiet time. And how amazing, I'm already like, okay, girl, please send me the link. Now, do you do sound healings virtually or I gotta come on up to South Carolina?
Well, hopefully, my goal is to introduce that in 2023. I'm
Okay.
currently looking for someone that can teach me the setup, what equipment I need. But yes,
Hmm.
that is my personal goal to do that.
Well, very
and
good because that,
I also want to record.
yes,
I want to record meditations,
yes,
and
yes.
and send them out. So I have so many amazing ideas,
Well,
and
look,
I
you
just
look
need
up
the
the app
right people to help
GarageBand.
me. I'm sorry,
If
what
you
was
have,
that?
do you have an iPad? Are you on iPad?
Yes, I have an old iPad,
Well,
old.
look up GarageBand, the app GarageBand. That's where my meditations. I record my meditation. You can bring in all the music that you want. So you can
Mhm.
have the gong and a piano. We say I don't have a piano. That's fine. You tell it to add this piano line. You play it. You make it soft, loud. Just GarageBand.
Thank you for that. I will do that.
It's very awesome. Yes. So I'll do like a segue. I'm also going to say more. I have actually have meditations that are that use the solfeggio. I have a
Mm.
heart one, so I'll talk about that later. But yeah, it's on my Etsy shop. But yeah, very good. So wow, this 45-minute session of no talking was a transformative and healing time in your life. And you have studied, so let's talk more about your certifications. You are a
So I did go. Okay, so I've been busy since 2020, but because it was impactful, I'm also a scientist too. And I wanted to make the connection between what's the science with these powerful instruments. Because the biggest hurdle, even today, that I face is that's too woo woo, or people connected to a religion. And what I've been hearing from certain people is this is demonic.
See, and I have the same thing with mindfulness. It's because people are ignorant, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean it
Mhm.
as an adjective. They're ignorant of the facts.
And so I try to bring it down as much as I can, to a scientific level, to just get them to understand that this has nothing to do with religion, but it's for me, one of the ways I see it is it gives you a deeper connection with the higher power that you subscribe to. It enhances that relationship, not takes it away. And so when I do fairs or I do demonstrations, I'll take one of my Tibetan bowls and I'll fill it with water. And so I show them the power of vibration and how the
Mm.
sound waves just ripple through that space and how that really does internal work. So while we are relaxing and listening to the beautiful frequencies and tones, these sounds are doing some amazing work at a cellular level. That's really, it's like breaking up the stagnant energy. If you can just imagine those chakras, those wheels of energy opening up, and just once they're opened, then they get just this amazing, beautiful energy to be filled and refreshed. And it's almost like they just get lit up, and you walk away feeling like you're floating on a cloud. Now, I people tell me that all the time after sound healings, I feel so light. And all I did was lie down. And then after a vibrational medicine session where I'm placing the Tibetan bowls on the body, um, they will cry because there is such an intense release. And it's just me. One of the things I, at the end of my life, what I hope to accomplish with sound and this beautiful way of being is to just do research and let people know that you can do so many amazing things with sound. We are now trying to figure the connection between pain and how to manage pain. So again, with the Tibetan bowls, when people have complaints of discomfort in the body, it's not that you're diagnosing or treating, it's just that you're acknowledging that this is a center in the body that is asking for relief or release. And the sound is a very beautiful way of just taking that and then releasing that. And so your body will cry out what your mind or your mouth doesn't speak. And
Say that
so
again. That is such a powerful statement. Please say that again.
Sure. So your body will cry out what your mind or your mouth does not speak. And so when you take this beautiful form like sound therapy and you give it a voice, your body says, okay, now we can deal with it. And where we do the coaching after the vibrational or the sound healing is each body part speaks to a different set of um, ailments or dis-ease that's in the body. So let's just say your shoulders, you're carrying a lot of weight. You're carrying things, and depending on, I don't want to get too much into it, but depending on what side, is it past stuff or is it stuff you are forecasting in the future that what if might happen? And so the backs of your knees carry energy. And that's why when I'm doing the session with you, I'll get behind the back of your knees, your feet, your knees, your legs. You're just what burdens, your stomach, IBS, things of like, it's just what are you not properly processing? Then up in here, nurturing, especially for women. You have what I've been taught is when you have issues up here, especially in the breast area, what type of nurturing did you not get that you feel like you should have, or you need now, or you didn't get in the past? And if you want to research more about that, I would suggest getting the book Soul Speak by Julia Cannon. Soul Speak by Julia Cannon. It is an amazing book that really takes each
Did
body
you say
part.
the first name is Julia?
Mm-hmm.
And then Cannon, Cannon?
Yes. So she is the daughter of Dolores Cannon, who was a
Oh,
QHHT.
yes, I know who she is, Dolores Cannon, yes.
Mm-hmm. That's her daughter. So she wrote this book several years ago. I think maybe 2007, maybe. Forgive me if the date is wrong. But it's an incredible book, incredible encyclopedic knowledge of different body parts and how they manifest in ailments.
So this is very fascinating. I want to welcome Sherry H to our show today, and I want to be a guest on her show next Saturday. I think it's at 5 or 6 my time. But so it's very funny that the very things you said that people think, oh, this is demonic or some kind of religion, or when I talk about mindfulness, I say, okay, first of all, we do live in the South, because in California, I never heard anybody say anything about that. Right.
Mhm.
So there is something about this Southern mentality. And one of the things is, I've said this before, that there's a verse in the Bible that says, you wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and powers, that there are higher energetic entities, fear, um, prejudice, bigotry, those are energies. They're not just words, and they thrive in certain areas. And honey child, let me tell you, they are thriving here in the South. So when you want to, and part of what the Southern mentality is that the power is outside of me. God is outside of me. White folks believe that. Black, God is outside of me. So I'm going to do right, so that even though my life is messed up and jacked up right now, it's okay, because when I die, I'm going to walk on the streets of gold and have a crown. It's like, you better hope that shit's right, excuse me, because you could have a better life right now. You can heal your life right now. You can live in wholeness right now. So Shenita takes you doing the sound bowl. I do a very similar kind of concept with the body scan, a mindful way to get you in touch with your body. And how does that sound so weird? Hey, Gertrude, we know about sonar. The US military uses sonar in submarines. All of us want to hear the whales, right? Whales use sonar. Um, Dolphins use sonar. I mean, even if you remember back in the day from the old Justice Friends and Spider Man, I mean, not Spider Man, Aquaman, not the cutie ass guy they got now, but old Spider Man, the cartoon. How did he communicate? He communicated with sonar. No one tells a child, here, when you hear this rhythm, you start dancing. Little kids hear music and they start wiggling their booties and moving their feet. Gloria Estefan said it the best: the rhythm is going to get you. We are energetic people. You talk about the science. There is actual science that says that nothing is solid. It's all the energy and how it comes together. But if you could step back and back and back energetically, instead of seeing a human or seeing this computer, you would see the energy, right? And so I'm not, I'm getting ready to start preaching. I'm not going to do that. But that, yes, and even if something is of another religion, what's wrong with that? Here in the US, they act like there's only one religion or three: Judaism, Christianity, and Judaism, Christianity, oh, and Islam, right? But there are so many religions in the world. And sound is how we words are sounds. We hear it as words, but it's really the sounds. Because I was telling Gail, there's this doctor at the hospital who is not from the United States. He's still a wonderful man. I said, but oh my God, I cannot understand a thing he says. He was sitting right next to me. And there is a guy, I cannot remember his name, on YouTube. He is in Ireland. And I watch his show. He is a cutie. I can't understand a damn thing he says. And then he'll say like an English word that sounds like, pumpkin, right? Because there's something about the rhythm of that the energy, so yes, the power of sound. When your mama's rocking you, what do you think you heard when you were in your mother's womb? Yes, thank you, Jane. She's telling the lurkers to please hit the thumbs up. Thank you. You already got me. The power of sound. That I saw a show years ago was a older Black lady who was living in a probably a sniff or a old age home. She was in the memory lane place, and she had once been a dancer and a singer. And they sat her down and they played an old church hymn, and she got up and sang and danced because that music, that rhythm was touching a core aspect of herself. I mean, you don't, girl, you already, I'm just saying.
Well, think about it, Minnassa. There's a reason why before a church service, there's this beautiful music. And it's to stir those energies. It's
Of
to
course.
prime us to be open to receive. So
Of course.
in the old, what I was taught in old Buddhist philosophy, tincture bells. Have you seen those?
Hmm.
They look like little symbols on a cord or a
Hmm.
string, and you ting like this together. But those are to awaken the energies. And so when I'm doing the vibrational medicine with people, the tinctures activate. It's like saying, we're here, it's time to do work. And when you combine that with so many different instruments, like the next thing I go is to the grounding. So I'm doing my shamanic drums and my medicine rattles with that. And in concert with everything, your body is being bathed in these pure um, healing tones and frequencies. And the body just goes deeper and deeper and deeper into a relaxing state. And when you set an intention, that just takes the frequency and tones with the intention to just a cosmic level. So, Jonathan Goldman is an American sound healing pioneer, and he coined the phrase frequency plus intention equals healing.
All right, I'm going to
And
put
it
that
is
in the
such
chat.
a beautiful demonstration of what I do with the community sound healings, with the vibrational medicine and private sound healings, and just also with, um, the coaching as well, because it's nothing to take a little bowl or drum or whatever and activate it. And just taking a deep breath, focusing, and just being still can bring such incredible moments of peace and relaxation. And since we're now in this winter, we're coming into the winter season. Now, the energy of the planet, nature is calling us to really stop and be still and to go within. It's that moment of rest, self-care, whatever that looks like for you, and to now get into a dream state and create. It's like, what do I want to do now? What do I need for myself, for my own healing, and for my own edification? And when you have that opportunity, when you give yourself that opportunity, amazing things happen. I love to talk about abundant living. And one of the most priceless things you can do for yourself that doesn't cost any money is to just be still, to allow peace to be still, and just embrace the beauty in that moment, and to grab a hold of the gold that's within, that's just waiting to get out if you were to be still. And I just love taking each season as it comes and really harnessing that power and that energy. And so if you can give yourself any gift this season, please rest, 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 rest.
I put in the chat the name of a book that was given to me as a gift. It's called Rest is Resistance. And it's a wonderful book by an African American woman who is also an ordained minister. I know she went to seminary. And she has, you can find her on Instagram. It's called the NAP Ministry. And part of what she says is that it is a part of white supremacy and capitalism to keep you so daggone tired that you are not able to think, you're not able to resist, you're not able to reflect, and that to say, oh, hell no, I'm going to take a nap, or I'm going to sit still, or I'm going to be present, is a true act of resistance.
I
And
saw a post on Facebook the other day, and it really gave me a beautiful perspective, and I would like to share. And that was, we often say we'll die for our kids. Without question, any parent would say, yes, I would give my life for my children.
I guess. No, I'm kidding.
But the bigger question would become, will you live for them? And in that living, it's showing them how to prioritize their minds, their bodily health, and their spirit. And we get caught up so much in this rat race called life that just becomes something we do later. And again, these are just simple tools and techniques that I love introducing to my clients. It's just, you don't have to spend a lot of money to attain health. You can just, if I can say anything to anybody, take your health, make your health a priority. Meaning, please sit still somewhere, get reintroduced to your own intuition. Anytime you have to go outside of yourself for any answers or any healing, stop. Go within. Everything you are, everything you need is in here. And in those still, quiet moments, that's where you go into that underworld and you pull out those answers and those solutions. And it's not to say that every time you close your eyes and take a deep breath, you instantly get those answers, but it's about reconnecting back to who you are. And that intuitive spirit is just yearning to say, I'm here, I'm here. Remember me? I can help you. I can give you the guidance that you are truly asking for. And it was a lesson that I had to learn the hard way, but it's one that I share with anybody that will be open and receptive to it. Listening to yourself, opening yourself up to your higher power, your intuition, and just remembering who you were before the world told you differently, before that circumstance, before that relationship that didn't work out. Who were you when you were a kid and you didn't have any of these concerns or cares? You woke up every day and you go, it's going to be a great day because I'm going to go see my friend and enjoy life. That's who I'm at 50 years old. That's who I'm trying to get back to. And these instruments are a tool. They're a beautiful tool, but there are so many tools out there. And being open and just have a desire to find the right tool that works for you, that you resonate with, that brings you joy. Happiness should be one of our main priorities in life. For me, it's number one. I got to give it to myself first. And these instruments have been game changer for me because I don't have to dress differently. I don't have to learn a new language in order to engage. I don't have to spend months trying to perfect a technique. It takes me as I am in that moment and says, hello, I missed you. Now let's play with one another. And I strike these instruments or activate these instruments, and we get to know each other, reacquaint ourselves with each other. And when I walk away, I'm just given something that just refreshes my soul. It's kind of like when you open the lid on a soda, your favorite soda, and you hear that, and it's like, that's what I walk away with every time. And I get to introduce myself to new sounds. And when I introduce these instruments to other people, it's like, here's my best friend. Here's one of my best friends. Now you guys go introduce yourselves to each other. So it's a gift that keeps on giving. And I feel very fortunate that this is how I get to help people better manage stress, anxiety, depressive feelings. Some people have even shared that it's helped with pain management. Although I am not a doctor, I do not work in the capacity of a counselor anymore. But if you're just trying to learn simple tools to help you get through this thing we call life with joy and abundance, these are just wonderful ways to do that. And I'm thrilled that I get to do that. It's amazing. I love it.
You can keep on talking.
Well, what else can I say? Okay, so I'll share with you a story. So I was at a Black Pride festival earlier this year, and you can imagine the street was filled with just happy, just wonderful energy, right? And so I was striking my bowls. Now you can imagine it's loud out there, but the bowls are powerful enough to where people really hear them like subconsciously. So this radiant woman walks up to me. She goes, I was looking for where this sound was coming from, and I'm so glad I found it. I love it. And she stood there. She took the deepest breath, and she said, I'm home. And so I kept playing them for her, and I just said, yes, let them refresh you. And she said, I just want to tell you, I've been diagnosed with a terminal stage 4 cancer. I'm going to die. I have worked through that and I've accepted that. But my family and my friends have not. So I have no peace because they will not allow me to just enjoy the rest of this life. I'm attending to them. And so I said, well, just if you have more time, close your eyes and let the bowls minister to you. And I was using frosted crystal bowls with her. And she said, thank you after a few minutes. And when she just started to walk away, I said, I honor you and you are loved. And she turned around and she said, thank you so much for that. That's what I needed from my family. But they are unable to give it to me because they're scared. So these instruments, and just allowing yourself to be open to it and taken in with them, I call them magical because they can give you a release that just you didn't even know you needed. And I have firsthand experience of that.
Well, wow. So we are almost at the last 10 minutes of the show, and I ask you if you would bless us with your healing magical instruments. I do want to welcome Joe G, and I want to thank everyone who has come here today. I want to thank you for your comments. I want to thank you. Yeah, powerful truth. Joe G is telling you powerful truth, Shenita. I don't know if you can see it, but when you watch the replay, Shenita, I put you in the thing. I'm off to the side because I don't, one of the things I want to say is everyone, if you Shenita, I really just feel didn't have faith and confidence in herself and said, I can't talk to a video. And okay, but have y'all seen her? When she started speaking her truth, I mean, just put a hand clap if you can. You see, I ain't even said a word in the last 15, 20 minutes because you stepped out on faith in yourself and you allow the divine feminine and the masculine to shine through you. And when you're in that place, girl, please, video, live stream, on out in your front yard, you are a powerful divine instrument.
Well, I
And
thank you for
so
saying that.
go ahead and bring it. Go ahead and bring it. That's right. Jane Seeker said she's doing great. And so I am ready. I think when Adrienne was here, she asked me to mute myself so that it would, yeah, see, Joe G's giving you hand claps. You did a great job. So I'm saying, so yeah, Jane is saying that a live stream is much easier than talking to the video. But what I do, Sherry H is saying you're very powerful. I couldn't really chat because she was cleaning the house while listening, but several times she said I had to stop and just let it sink in. All right, now you see, look at all these good people I got in my chat. These are all very wonderful and loving people, and we're all waiting for your channel so we can go and subscribe and come on.
Well,
But
the
what I'm
channel is
saying is,
up. If you go to Future Focus Coaching and Wellness on YouTube, the
why
handle is
don't you
Soul
send me the
Healers.
link when we get done? Send me the link, and then I'll put it in my show notes for my Mindful Mornings with Minnassa on Monday.
I can do
I will
that.
do that because Sharon tried to find you and said she couldn't find you. So if you send me the link, we'll have it. But I just want to honor you and say, sister, friend, mother, father, brother, for you are all those things. I see you and you are shining, video or not. And the world needs future focused coaching. Is that right?
It's Future Focus Coaching and Wellness.
Future focused coaching and wellness. Please send me the link. I'll put it in my show on Monday. And now I'm going to mute myself and I'm going to ask you to end the show using your sound healing. So whatever, and then you'll have to come back at 12 your time, 11 my time, and say something like, okay, I'm closing the show. So it's yours.
So thank you everyone for being here, for sharing your time, for sharing your beautiful and amazing and encouraging energy. I honor you. A deep bow to you. And as we close today's show with Minnassa Wellness, I want to share with you the beauty and the power of the gong. The gong is expansive in its reach and the way that it can really get into your being and allow you to explore energetically. So if you feel led to do so and would like to open your mind and hearts to this instrument, I just want you to take a deep breath for me. Inhale in. Now exhale. And as you do that, imagine yourself sinking into a safe, supportive, cuddly environment. Inhale and exhale. And as you sink into this beautiful, safe, and supportive environment, know that you are entering a beautiful portal that leads you to magical and mystical adventures. Inhale and exhale. And as we play the gong this afternoon, allow yourself to set a powerful intention on how you can harness the energy of this season to dream and create for your life all the possibilities that await you. here we are, right where we began, in a place of safety and security. And we take a deep breath in and release. And I thank you for taking this time to honor your body, to give it some rest, and to allow it to feel supported, to feel cared for. Deep breath in and release. Thank you. Thank you for the powerful intention that you have set for yourself. And know that it is so. Deep breath in and relax. And now we are back in this beautiful place. Only now we feel better, we feel stronger, and we feel so much more love and compassion and joy. May you always be well, may you be happy, and may you feel whole. Namaste.
Namaste to you as well. What a wonderful sound healing. I was watching you out of the side of my eye. People are sending you hearts and hands. Thank you so very much. This was awesome. I thank everyone who attended. Shenita, you have just bought your gifts and shown your light. It was wonderful. Thank you to everyone. I will remind you that next Saturday I'll be on Gertrude's show at 11 a.m. my time Central. On Sherry's show, I think it's 6 p.m. Central. The following week I will have my oneness meditation, and you can find all that stuff where I'm at. And again, Shenita, I'm just like, I thank you all again. Have a beautiful day. Thank you so much for shining your light. And I'll see all of you on Monday at 6:30 Central AM. But you can catch me anytime, Mindful Mornings with Minnassa. Love, 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 indeed.